Jenny?
I have a few questions. So I really liked a lot of your ideas. In regard to the teacher training sessions, I think it's a really good idea. But you did mention at one point that access to girls was like an incentive for some people to become teachers. And I feel as though if someone already had that goal in mind, having a training session might not dissuade them from doing something they already set their mind to. And considering that all the teachers at Education Bridge are men, I think it's especially important to have measures in place that prevent any type of sexual violence. I wonder if there are any safety measures that you might be able to recommend for Education Bridge, like making it a rule for teachers to never be alone in a classroom with one other student.
That's one of the things.
Okay. Or even having like really, really strong consequences if any teacher breaks one of these rules or is found to sexually assault a girl.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
One of the things we were talking about was like, how do we like make these consequences? Because also, we talked to a lady who runs a school in South Sudan, and she said that it's hard to make really strong consequences for teachers because it's hard to find teachers right now. So it's like a weird situation where it's hard to like find teachers. So if you kick the teacher out, but like that's obviously what should be done, So they have to kind of look at that and decide the consequences based on their situation. But that's what we were kind of recommending.
Also, we find it hard to take out the cultural aspect because here, obviously, Professor Reifenberg is not going to be like, go like fetch me water or whatever it is. But in South Sudan, that might be culturally appropriate. So how do we?
Somebody could be coffee.
Yeah, that would be like you're not going to be like go to the So like, how do we mitigate that cultural aspect without being insensitive? Is the question we're looking at.
Got it. And then my other question was, I also really liked your idea on the pamphlets in the classrooms. I do think I think one of my concerns would be that like it could be one of those things where it's kind of just left in the corner of a classroom and never used. I wonder if there's a way to incorporate it more, this idea of like women leadership, women's education, more into the actual class, or maybe even just instead of having it as a pamphlet, getting them laminated and putting them up on the wall so that even though they might not, like students might not necessarily read everything about all of the women, they have that image in place and it's kind of like, it's out there for everyone to see.
No, that's a great idea. We didn't think of that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. And something else we're talking about is seeing if we could get prominent women in the community to come into the girls' clubs too to talk and just kind of have that in-person communication as well. As another form of that.
Good. We've only got a couple more minutes, so maybe I'll jump in here. I think you guys did a really good job of focusing on the problem opportunity you were given around girls' education related to Greenbelt Academy. I really like that you went deep in, kind of with the UNICEF work in different parts of the world, with the Mercy Beyond Borders. And so I think you came up with some really